Hello, 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 hello. We are back with The Long Voyage, episode something I've completely forgotten all about. Um, and this time, we are in fact not all here. Baggy's player is unable to join us tonight. I'm sure that the rest of us will somehow manage to slog through this without him, although obviously his august wisdom and great his character's great personal dignity shall be missed greatly.
His penis. We'll miss his penis.
Oh, so that's what you call his dignity, is it? All right.
Or lack thereof.
Oh, come on, guys, be nice. Um,
Always.
anyhows, ways, thingamabob, thingamajig. We are back, as I said, with another episode of this ongoing tale of the exploration and hijinks and yeah, we need obviously some kind of recap from last time. So, Chris, would you do the honors?
13! 13!
That's obviously the episode, I guess.
Yes, it is episode 13, and every time we come to the number 13, I have to do this this joke. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a reference to the TV series Rome, which our GM is a massive fan of, which I'm a massive fan of.
Yay! Titus
So,
Pullo for the win.
Yes. Most lovable rogue in the Roman army. Anyway, what happened last time? We arrived at the capital city of the Green Shores, CharismaToAC, and started making our way. We went to the tavern that we had been recommended and got ourselves settled in there. The proprietor was very accommodating, and we had to pay the money to stay there. The point was, we discovered later on, was that because he did not support the sword that most people in this area of the country supported, despite the fact that CharismaToAC is nominally neutral, but they're not for for politically real reasons. It basically meant that he got a lot of his usual custom had since abandoned him, and so he was sort of struggling to find paying customers these days. So he was more than happy to accommodate us, and we decided that we would stay indefinitely and pay generously because we're like that. Because as it turns out, we're all filthy, stinking rich now.
You are positively flipping loaded with money. Your biggest problem, obviously, being that while you have oodles and oodles and oodles of money, most of it is in gold. Well, by far the most of it is in gold, which leaves you guys with, it won't. It's worth more here than it would be back home. Moreover,
we just have to go exchange it.
Yeah. Moreover, what are you gonna actually spend so much money on? It's not as if you can go out and buy real estate.
It's free real estate.
So.
No. Anyway. Yes. But the point was, well, we did try to find some things to buy, and we decided we wanted to get ourselves some brand new clothes.
Yes.
And some new boots. We decided to go get the clothes first, and our GM, being the master of the dramatic that she is, decided that this should immediately sort of go kind of wrong. Not for us necessarily. We got there and found and found that the tailoress that lived there with her daughter, I believe it was.
3 children, actually. Yep.
With several children. Basically, she owed money to some local crime lord, thug fellow, and basically she'd not been able to pay the latest bout of rent owed due to business reasons again, and so he had decided to be an absolute prick about it and basically cripple her hands by shoving her tailoring needles into them. Only some of us discovered this. Only some of us actually went in to talk with her. I think Gylfi was the main one to talk because the rest of us were all big, scary Southlanders. Meanwhile, Bargy decided to have a Vietnam flashback that morning, and so he garnered sympathy from Frothy. He garnered absolutely no sympathy from Sindri. And as we were sort of there with him, trying to either just keep a lookout, and while Frothy was trying to basically get Bargy back in his game, some some thugs came around the corner belonging to this crime boss, whose name I don't even know if we know, but doesn't matter. Looking to exact further payment from these people, even though it wasn't even necessarily that time yet. But basically, they were there because they wanted to abduct the tailoress's daughter and do unspeakable things to her, as thuggish men are wont to do with pretty ladies. Unfortunately, we decided to do something. Well, sort of. Well, when Ulva and Sindri kind of failed to stop at least one of them physically, Gylfi's quick thinking basically was that we were in the middle of making a business transaction, so they should come back when they're meant to, because by then they'll have money because we're going to give them money and do business. The one guy that got in and successfully actually managed to push Ulva out of the way, which is a feat in and of itself. Basically also insulted Ulva quite spectacularly, and we discovered that Ulva has an explosive temper and holds grudges because she almost killed the man were it not for the fact that Sindri restrained her.
Yeah, I've got testy, I think would be the term.
Nah, you were fine.
Testy, I think testy for Southlander standards is
hot-blooded murder by everyone else's.
Yes, basically,
she was fine.
She's the equivalent of a rabid dog.
Hey!
A rabid dog trying to be a sleek cat because apparently all battle maidens are supposed to be sleek.
I'm a fucking elephant in a china shop. Get over it.
Bull, but yeah. No, it's point is, we've sort of agreed to help out with that situation, either by doing business with them, and some of us have decided we might discreetly try and find out who the man in charge of these louts are and make him not be there anymore. But
well, if you actually want her thought process last time, when you stopped her, it was, I'm fucking gonna rip his face off, and then a second later, I'm gonna miss his face. A split second after that, he would look really ugly without a face. I should leave the face on.
But yes, that was something we were going to come back to late as and when. We also went and got some boots, and as our GM was emphatic to point out, nothing bad happens that time around. We just put in the order for the boots. It'll take time for the clothes and the boots to be made. The clothes more so, I think, because quite simply, the woman who would normally make them is crippled, and her daughter is only very new to the profession. So, yeah. But the boots will be worked on within a reasonable time limit. I believe that was where we left off. I can't remember if there was something else we were doing.
Not really, no.
Back to the tavern or something. I don't know.
Well, we can easily say that you know when we rejoin you that you've gotten back to the tavern. That's fine. We can do that. No problem.
And Margie clearly still suffering from his Vietnam flashbacks because he is catatonic this session.
Yeah, he's going to go and sit in the corner and just stare into the fireplace or something for a while,
with crying manly tears.
I imagine he's asked to be left alone.
Yes. Yeah, he has.
All the more reason for Sindri to not leave him alone, and someone's just dropped out of the call.
Not it.
Nope.
Looks like our dear comrade Brain is momentarily.
Very
doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter.
Obviously, yes. So that's not quite what I meant. Is that we will eventually get him back, I'm sure.
Yes.
But yeah. So Sindri sort of sits down with the others. I assume we all sit down in the tavern somewhere.
Obviously, that's entirely up to you.
Still a little testy, as you so nicely put it. But she sits down. Though you're pretty sure that the table would be dead if it was alive right now. Because her eyes could kill.
She shoots laser beams.
She does, in fact, shoot laser beams. Well, no, not really. But yeah. She's very angry, very upset, very annoyed, pissy, whatever. However, the room or the inn, the establishment, are well, it's still what is it called? It's still a fairly empty room. You know, the business has not exactly picked up since yesterday. So yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Sindri will look at the others and say, "There's never a dull day, it seems. Or at least there's never a dull situation we find ourselves in."
I don't know. We've had some pretty dull days on the boat.
That's why I've changed my assessment, but yes. While we've been here, there's always been at least something to occupy us.
That's true.
Well, what to do about the situation with the tailor?
Well, as I understood it, we are giving her our money, and she's giving us stuff in return, and that helps her stay alive.
For however long, a month maybe. I mean, I'm not particularly. If that's what we choose to do, that's fine by me. But I get the impression that some in our group might want to find a more permanent solution to these people's problems.
Frody glances at Gilfy and back at Sindri and says, "Well, she is making quite a few rather large outfits. I imagine she'll earn quite a lot. And with Gilfy's treatment, her hands might recover, or her daughter might learn enough."
I didn't like the look of that man who went in. He has a mind to take what he will in regards to the young lady, and that worries me somewhat.
Don't worry, I can make him a lot more prettier to look at.
Well, you won't always be around.
I'm aware I'm not immortal.
No, I meant we're probably leaving the city at some point.
Oh, right.
Well, it's more a case of if we could find out the person that these poor people owe their money to, a name, we can go from there. I need to just pop away from AFK a second as well, so I'll be back shortly.
Of course. So.
Well, we did want to lay low, I think Frody says and turns to Ilva. We can always pay more than we need to, but in the end, I don't think we should mess too much with their lives.
Ilva looks up. She knows this.
Of course, convincing someone might be slightly more difficult.
Who?
Gilfy.
He's the one who stopped me.
Yes, and for once his soft heart was to our benefit.
Fine.
But I must admit, I am growing increasingly irritated at the constant pleas to spare our enemies.
Sorry, I was laughing at Gilfy. What were you saying?
But I must admit, I am growing increasingly irritated at the constant pleas for sparing our enemies.
You have constant pleas of sparing our enemies.
Yes.
Where?
Frody cocks his head and like, "Are you following the conversation, Ilva?"
I haven't heard him beg for their lives.
Then you haven't been listening.
Probably not.
No, don't kill him. He's an old, decrepit man. Oh, look,
Oh.
he summoned a giant headless warrior.
That was once. That wasn't constant.
Does not change the fact that he needs to harden if he wants to survive.
Did that once.
Forty looks serious.
Hilda doesn't.
Yes, I realized.
You would have him be just like us then.
Again, if he is to survive. Compassion is a virtue for peace. We are not at peace.
We are not necessarily of a nation, fully of a nation anymore, are we? We are fighting on behalf of someone else. Besides, Gylfi has something unique about him. It's almost a shame to see it lost, even if it is necessary in war.
I think it's called innocence.
I don't think it's that unique. You just need to observe the young maidens back in Vananes.
That seems almost a touch chauvinistic, Frothi.
What I mean is, if he had had the choice, I think it would be best had he stayed behind.
Fair opinion. The wounds.
I just need to ask one thing in the midst of all this conversation. Please, do go on afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But where is Gylfi in all of this?
Yeah, since I was dealing with the power spike. Yeah, I would say Gylfi is because the rest is sitting at the inn, I imagine.
Yeah, they made it back there after buying, boots.
Okay, so are we? How much time did advance? Because I need to get up to speed.
It's afternoon by now, but
okay, it's the same day afternoon.
We still have to wait a couple of days for the clothes and the boots, but yeah.
Yeah. I was just asking if it was like the next day or something. Then Gylfi would probably. He told the family what to do if they need his help where they're staying.
Yeah.
So Gylfi would be probably either in the room or I don't know, sightseeing on his own, maybe.
Sure.
And either works.
Either works. Okay. Well, I just so you're not with the others in any case.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I need to be nearby, then I will be nearby. But if I'm not needed,
no, it's fine. It's just whether there was a chance that you walked in on this conversation, which is after all about him. But that's fine.
I don't think not at this moment.
No, that's fine. Okay, you guys. You guys go back to talking. Just needed to,
Oh, do go on.
Yeah, do go on.
He's gonna think he has a cold with all the sneezing.
In response to what Frody said regarding him probably should have staying at home, Sindri looks at Frody and says, "An interesting point. Although I would say that the healed wounds upon each of our bodies would indicate otherwise." And
I meant for his sake.
Maybe. But it's not just about doing what's right for his sake, it's about doing what's right for everyone's sake. And as far as I can see, he still has his place here. Yes, he is struggling, as some people do. I think to force him to immerse himself in more than his fair share of blood and carnage it won't harden him. It will break him. He is not, if I were to use a smithing analogy, we can't temper him like a blade. If we try it that way, he will simply snap in half. I do not propose, of course, to coddle him. I mean, could you imagine me doing that? But
please don't.
What I think What I think you're proposing, Frothy, might not be
Ilva is sending him the evil eyes.
me.
You know who we were talking about. No, Frothy who said, not you, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be giving me the evil life because I stopped you killing that man, but that's besides the point.
No, she's giving Frothy the evil eye.
For having suggested that she would be the one who coddled.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Who knows? Anyway.
Also, I don't really see an issue. He has never ever actually gone back on helping us out. He's shot arrows just like we did. He fought just like we did. It's not like he's turning tail and running off screaming.
No, that's true. All he
Give it
does is
time, I'm
hesitate.
sure he'll mature.
That is what I'm hoping.
I mean, I might have had younger siblings, but no, my patience won't keep going. I tried this approach first, and if it doesn't work, we'll have to see, but I'm pretty sure it will.
Please do
I
know
think
that.
it's a thing we have to come to terms with on our own. Like Baggy sitting staring there.
Do
Gilfy
know
out
that,
walking.
do note that we are all that's left of Herbal. And when I'm saying this, it's not because I dislike Gilfy in any way. I simply fear that his innocence will get him killed, or his hesitation will get us killed. I want to protect him as much as you do. We just don't agree on the method.
Hello, character. What is it, I suppose, about you loving to make characters who feel an urge to protect the group in spite of themselves?
I don't know.
Just have this insistent mother hen instinct.
That
Well,
might just
I
be
don't
a
think
part
that's
of
a
me
lot of-
shining through.
I don't think there's a lot of mother hen of thrumming at deep side. Either he'll drown or he'll swim.
Well, mother hen clucking, at the very least. I mean, okay, but point being that Sindri sort of shrugs at this, as if to say, "You may be right, you may not be. We'll find out." And then he he looks out the door a bit and says, "I do wish I could speak their language a little bit more effectively."
I can some phrases, but I'm pretty sure some of them are very bad swears.
Not,
At least they make Gilfy giggle.
Well, I would love to be more fluent as well. Perhaps we could ask the innkeep. Buggy is busy and Gilfy's not here.
maybe. I mean, we should probably bring him up to speed on the tailor. They seem to have an acquaintanceship at the very least.
That's true.
In that case, Sindri will, assuming the place is in particular, well, it's not busy, so he'll see if he can find the proprietor and call him over.
Well,
You posted him up.
He's certainly available.
Where is he? Ah, there. Yana.
Gone.
Yeah,
Anal.
yeah.
Aina.
Yes.
That's why I said the innkeep. I couldn't remember his real name. I could just remember AJ calling him Anal, and I didn't want to use that as his name.
No, just take the L off the end and you're fine.
Aina!
Yes. So we called him over.
He comes
And-
over. He does come over.
Greetings again.
Greetings. I did as I said. I got some fresh produce today for food. So
Excellent.
I'll have some really decent dinner ready for you.
You're very kind. Yeah, we've had a...
Not at all. You're paying customers.
Yes. On the subject of paying customers, it's been an interesting morning.
Do tell, if you wish.
It's probably for the best that we do. How well acquainted are you with the tailor you recommended to us?
Fairly well. recommend? Well acquainted? What did something happen?
It might. When we went to visit, they seemed hesitant to accept us, not due to our stature or anything, but they feared that we were associated with someone who was demanding payment of them on a monthly basis, on a regular basis, every 10 days or so.
I see. That doesn't sound good.
Our youngest member, Gilfie, with the friendliest face, was able to enter and speak to the family there. It seems that the poor mistress was not able to meet the last payment, and so the person to whom the money was owed has, I shall be blunt, he used her own tailoring needles to injure her hands.
There are some truly despicable individuals out there, I'm afraid.
Indeed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We also...
Did you find another tailor? I could suggest someone
No,
else.
we are still going to order from them. We've, as a matter of ensuring their safety at this point, some more thugs came around while we were there, seeming to expect to collect payment early in the form of taking the good mistress's daughter away from her for their own amusement.
That's. Ugh.
We were able to dissuade them by explaining that we were there to do business and that they would have money by the correct due date, but
I see.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that you did so. There are some, as I said, some absolutely despicable individuals in CharismaToAC these days.
I'm wondering if maybe you might have some idea as to who this despicable person might be that was engaging in this extortion. My apologies, it's out of character.
Not really, and that's the honest truth. He says, I'm not really on the I'm not really in the know as to who is, running criminal enterprises in the city, seeing as I refuse to involve myself with any such thing.
Well, we ordered our outfits from her.
That's I'm glad to hear that you did, because clearly, given what you just told me, she can use the business.
Yes, she'll have her daughter make them supervised.
Oh, excellent. So basically, she will, apprentice her own daughter, and they will make that. That is good.
I was thinking, I know you have a short supply of business.
Yeah, I do. As you've seen, half empty, or all empty at times.
Well, hopefully our stay will be profitable for you, and if that's the case, perhaps you should consider getting some new bed sheets.
That is an excellent suggestion. I think I shall certainly consider that.
Throaty winks.
He smiles and nods and says, "You know what? That is a very good idea."
Not that there's anything wrong with the ones you already have, of course. But
well, quite apart from the fact that there aren't really any. Well, there are some blankets, but he says, "But yes, you are right, and I shall absolutely take that into consideration."
Yes. Now, it's all quite.
Yeah, she gets it.
So,
are you leaving us, Silver?
No, I wonder if this would go over Ilva's head, because practicality and shit, if they're okay, then why the hell buy new ones? But she gets it.
Yeah.
I rolled an IQ test just to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you said gets it. I thought you said gets up. My apologies.
No, she gets it. She's smart cookie sometimes.
I'm 23 years old and I'm already going deaf, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't worry. By 27, you'll be completely deaf.
Yes.
It's part of life. Then they'll install new ears and they'll last around
That's
5 years.
that is also why I can't hear anything.
What?
Exactly. Oh, what are you talking about?
Huh?
Hello.
Okay. Sindri will look to the others and say, yes, anything we can do to help the local economy, especially if the local economy is favourable to us, we will do. In the meantime, though, I think, as I say, I'm lamenting the fact I do not speak the local language better. I would like to be able to wander the streets and see if I could find out more for myself.
Yeah, the same for me.
Yeah, don't get lost. The city is huge!
Well,
I might be able to point you into the directions of, if there's anything in specific or anything in general that you are looking for. I mean, I do know the city.
A language tutor.
Sure, those are here, but they're costly and it takes time.
How about a somewhat cheaper one that is faster?
I'm sad to say that I don't actually think you'll have much success in finding that.
No, I didn't think so.
How would you learn a language faster?
That's the point.
Well, I'm not suggesting I would learn all of it, of course. I just need enough to get by.
with Crowther or Frody, is it possible to stuff a language in someone's head?
That RSI guy did it, so why not?
Although,
The what guy?
The RSI guy.
You met an Arasari.
Yes, that.
Oh,
that's his name.
Tierney!
They are extraordinarily powerful people, so, they can do pretty much what they want.
Can they teach?
Well, if they feel like it, but they're not officially, unless you are actually enrolled at the Tichne Drochte up on the hill.
Which one?
It's the taller one of the two, he says and points. It's the one that's got, looks like it's always shrouded in mist. But just be aware that if you actually go up there and knock on the doors, there's a reasonable chance that it will kill you.
The door?
Why?
Yes, knocking on the doors will kill you, because you're not one of them and they don't like guests, by and large. They're very insular people.
That
So-
Jenny guy seemed quite nice.
Probably why he's not in CharismaToAC.
Possibly.
The nicer ones tend to try to get away from the capital.
Though he did complain a little about the size of the smaller city we found him in.
So, yeah.
This land is very strange. People are supposed to come to the capital and make it better, not try and get away from it. I mean, can you imagine if we had that in Vananes? And he looks at the other two. I mean, it would be a ghost town.
Well, being here, I almost feel like it is.
Yep.
But I understand your meaning.
It's a dangerous place, that's all I'm saying. The Arasari are, well, I don't like them much personally, he says.
They sound very... what's the word?
Uppity,
Bird.
prickish,
That's as good as a word as...
Yes.
I don't think arseholy is actually a word, but it'll do.
It'll do.
You wouldn't find... I don't think you find that much among the side makers of our lands. The idea that using Flowlikers inherently makes you a cut above everyone else. It's not quite like that.
No.
Rather the opposite. It eats your mind.
I shall be right back, by the way, so you guys just keep talking amongst yourselves if you want.
Do you think if I taught him to fling fire at people, he would teach me to know any language?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Ilva tries to stifle a laugh, but it doesn't really work.
What?
Well, the thing you had before we came here.
Huh?
She gestures to the man. Probably not a good idea to say it out loud. The vision.
Oh, what about it?
Learning people to fling magic. Fling fire in particular in CharismaToAC.
Yeah.
Well, he's not in the city. As far as I know.
If we're not going to go and find him, I mean, and Sindri shrugs and says, let's face it, what very little of the language I have learned through a combination of listening to the locals and what Gylfi has been able to teach me. It might be worth asking him to make it a more thorough education of us.
Yes.
Or Buggy. Although with Buggy, he'll insist on making us learn the language by learning his tall tales.
Ah, I wonder how many words they have for penis.
About as many, well, about
I
as many
don't
as,
really want to know.
about as many as we do, I'm sure.
I imagine Baggy knows them all.
Yes.
I
Well,
did.
And I'm back again.
excellent. Yeah, we're basically talking about prophecies and Gylfi and how many words the people of the Green Shores have for penis. So
Fair
there you
enough.
go.
Frody is very confident that Baggy knows all of them.
Well,
Probably,
considering his proclivities, it might do him credit.
Then
Anyway.
we shall momentarily switch to another angle of, or another view, and go and find Gylfi walking the streets of CharismaToAC and taking in the sights.
It's not worth it. Don't walk the streets.
Ha ha ha.
You can do better with your life.
Very funny.
What if he wants to?
That's it.
So, is there anything in particular he's looking for? Is he just out walking in general, and anything that's going through his mind, anything like that?
Yeah, probably he's still thinking about what happened before. Because it's not so like But other than that, he just actually he would go. I suppose he would go to the market first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mostly looking to resupply what he got, what he has, like his first aid kit stuff, and maybe just check out the local herbalist stands and.
You have
Something like
you have no difficulty finding herbalist stands. They do. There are quite a few of those.
Yeah,
In fact,
that's
there is an entire apothecary's quarter. It's not very large, but it's there.
Mm. Yeah, so he'll probably just go looking for supplies and on its way he probably would look for also. Well, he's on herbs. He would probably look for some spices also.
Yep. And as you do so, you're walking from from stall to stall and finding some interesting things here that turn out to maybe not be quite as interesting as you thought initially, and but just smoozing and window shopping and so on. Suddenly, you hear a loud voice, angry voice, a woman yelling, "Stop the thief!" And literally, as that happens, you're spinning your head to see what the hell, and under your arm, comes belting a boy who can be, you wouldn't get, he couldn't be older than 10. With, fear on his face and running for his life, and bringing up or coming up behind him is a woman who looks to be in reasonably good shape, but she's not exactly in the prime of youth anymore. She's probably in her late 40s. And she's literally waving a very large herb knife over her head as she tries to catch this boy.
Probably when the boy passes under my arm, Gilfy would do this would stumble backwards, maybe possibly obstructing the woman from chasing, but that it still would look as he's
Yeah, he's just doing it in all surprise and stuff. Give me a perception roll, please. Vision, if it's better than the average, perception, eyesight, vision. Yep, that's fine. As this boy belts past you, you realize that at first you almost didn't notice, because it looks like he's only he's got pointed ears. He's clearly she. But well, I should say he's got pointed ear. The one closest to you isn't there.
Yeah, he would probably just he just he tries, well, not tries, he stumbles probably a little bit, obstructing the woman, and after regaining his stability, following the boy with his eyes where he runs.
Yep, he makes it further down the street, and then turns into clearly into some kind of side alley that further along between some of the other stalls. The woman is clearly incredibly annoyed that you got in the way, but she doesn't have time to argue with you about it. So she tries to get around you, and it quickly becomes this dance almost of I want to go this way, you want to go that way. Oh, sorry, no, I want to go that sort of thing. And eventually, of course, she does manage to get by you, but by that point, the boy is long gone.
Yeah, he's like, oh, just struggle to pats his clothing, got dust, some. Just corrects his bag and moves along towards the thing, just making the mental note where the boy went. But just doing his going for picking up some stock.
Of course. And well, you find as I said, you find most common remedies and stuff. You're not fortunate enough to actually find gold clover in this place, though. But you do find some pretty good pretty good stock. They have good linen for bandages, for amongst other things.
Yeah. So he generally tries to resupply what he what he can.
Yeah.
And maybe buy some extra spices and stuff.
Yes.
He would actually keep an eye out on herbs or mushrooms or stuff like that. That is that helps to kind of numb people or knock people out.
Yes.
Looking for drugs.
You want to see the world.
You do find various mushrooms and some you also find some herbs that they the people who sell them to you tell you that you have to be very careful about how you measure it. You know, do not use too much, because obviously then it can be harmful. But that it's supposed to. In one case, it's supposed to numb pain quite efficiently. That, however, is ridiculously expensive. It's a sort of a sort of almost a viscous liquid, and they say that it's not something that's grown locally. It's something they have from a foreign trader, which makes it extremely rare. And it also, you can also see this guy's wearing a sort of a, he's wearing the badge of this. You saw the same badge in the first town that you were in. That he's apparently a member of this merchants guild. They have the Tradalai, and he is he's got two small jugs of this liquid. They're both sealed, but he's got a tiny little sample of it as well, and it's apparently it'll knock people flat out apparently.
Yeah, he asked how much do you want for.
He wants 500 gold pieces per jar.
Per jar.
Yes.
I don't know. Does he 500 gold pieces?
Yes, 500 gold pieces.
Yeah. Does he sell it in like dosages?
No, it's he says that since as I said they're sealed, the jars are sealed. He doesn't want to break the seal, but you know, again, it's also pretty clear that the fact that he is a member of the Tradalai is sort of a almost like a guarantee that he's not selling you something dodgy. And he says he'll sell them at 500 because he knows he can get that much, but at the same time you're clearly somebody who knows what to use them for, and consequently he's not going to try, and he tells you flat out, he says, I'm not going to try to overcharge you because you sound like somebody who will actually use it for what it's intended for. But he still wants to make, you know, a profit on it.
Go for the size a little bit. Sadly, it's just a little bit beyond my scope right now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
you know where my stall is, he says. So
Yeah.
you're always welcome.
He's like, do you have something more weaker stuff? But
yeah,
you know.
He's still got some interesting things. He does say he's got some spices and some herbs. When you burn them in a small, he takes out this tiny little, almost like a what's it called, it's like an incense burner basically. And it isn't a form of incense. He says, "Well, I have enough of this." He says that you can have a quick whiff of it and see what it does. And for one thing, when you smell it, it smells fucking incredible. It smells really nice. But then he lights it up, and he does warn you in advance. And he will only do so if you want him to demonstrate it. So if I'll ask you if you want him to give you a demonstration.
I'll just describe it.
Okay, sure. No, what it does, he says, is if you light it up and you inhale the smoke, it will be a relaxant. You will be able to bring people who are gripped by all manners of mania and dread and fear and even some physical ailments. For example, a person who is so afflicted by terror, for example, that they are cramping. If they inhale this, it will help them relax and get a good night's sleep.
Because it's like how how like how much is per usage. Like this is more in game, like in game kind of like
No, this is 4 silver pieces per dose, and he has 8 doses.
Okay, so it's 5 silver per dose.
Yes.
Yeah, Gilfy would take them all, I think.
Yeah, well, he's quite happy to let you have them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as soon as the merchant said, "Yeah, we'll give you a good night's sleep," yep, I'll take it all. I'll just order any more you get in. I'll just order that as well.
This 8 doses.
Love it.
4. Okay. So it's okay. I'm just making notes. Keep my bookkeeping on. Yeah, and he's also like Gilfy's also like yeah, he's also take some some spices, like probably some local spices,
Absolutely.
Just to try them like for future cooking, something like dry herbs and stuff like that.
He will be the first person to tell you that he's not an expert on that, but he does say he's got a colleague also from the Tradalai who does specifically sell spice, and he's not on this market but on the next one over if you are interested.
Yeah. So Gilfy definitely makes a note of where to go.
Yep. He gives you directions, and again, it seems to Gilfy when he does this, it seems like this is also part of what they do. They help each other out, make directing customers to each other. This man has he doesn't lose anything by directing you to one of his colleagues within the Tradalai.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also like yeah, he would be and okay. You would know that as official merchant for drugs.
Yes.
Oh, do you spice? No, but
the spice is life.
Yes. The spice must flow.
I'm thinking of Spice of Your Life from Spice Girls now, Joan.
You see,
yes.
there, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference in culture between our group. People making references to Dune, and people making references to the Spice Girls.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he will. It just like abbreviate probably. How much to like. I'll contact you later about the like bookkeeping, like exactly what did he buy, like in terms of this the usual stuff, usual replacement.
You're just basically restocking. So
Yeah.
No problem at all.
I don't know anything else because Gilfy would probably look around the stall. Anything else catches his attention?
No, not really.
Do people actually I don't imagine people have like tobacco in here, but
no,
do
but
people use
there are
vanilla?
There are smoking herbs. It's not tobacco per se, but it's smoking herbs.
Yeah, Gilfy would probably take a like buy himself a pipe and buy some.
Has he ever smoked before?
No, but he's willing to try.
It does happen in the Southlands. It's just a little bit more rare because
I imagine his.
So.
Nah, his father wouldn't like. He probably seen some merchants do it, but
Okay, yep, sure, no problem.
Maybe he's like the person that taught him healing stuff. They smoked herbs. Whoever it was.
Would make sense, I guess.
Yeah. Old wizened fella or lady, I'm not sure. Yeah. So he would buy some unspecified, like
Yes.
Smoking herbs.
Well, you can get that easily enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously I like pipe smoking with him because he would not get for like go for like he would not go out of his way to find something like elaborate and stuff. He just like simple useful thing. Yeah, and then he goes to the man with to the merchant with the spices.
Yes,
And
you go over there. Yes.
yeah, and unless he sells something unique, then he buys something local. Yeah.
Yeah.
The list for poke for prices later. Yeah, and after that, he would Gilfie would probably like remind himself. Actually, he would like take something if there are like some people like not cooking stalls, but like there's like a if there's set up somebody with like a pot bob like cauldron bobblings with some food, some local food on the market, he would probably
There's
take some.
plenty of street food for sale around here.
Yeah,
Lots of it.
he would probably take something that he haven't seen before, maybe in previous town or something.
Yeah.
All
right.
Maybe you can get some shawarma.
Well, I think actually this is not a bad place to take our first break, and we will be back with more The Long Voyage shortly.